Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. So as you can probably hear, I've got a cold, so I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. We're going into the weekend tomorrow. So price action over the weekend obviously is always dodgy. There's normally little volume and often can be a big movement in prices. Bitcoin is at the area I've said to be wary of. As you can see, we're taking this liquidity. I presume we probably come up to the top of this range realistically, like at least 67,000 is where I presume that we would come up to because of how much liquidity there is there. On the day, that's the first thing I want to cover basically. On the daily time frame, I'm going to just quickly show you something. I wanted to cover that in a minute, but I don't want the Bitcoin chart to go away because I've got something interesting to show you there. This is Bitcoin overlay with Bitcoin. Let me just get rid of that for a second. On the daily time frame, as you can see, Bitcoin is in a range, and something I've written about in the newsletter is that every single time we get to these levels on the RSI, look, we have had a pullback. Is that going to continue? You can only assume yes as of right now, even though there are all these larger like macro events happening with China stimulating, US obviously cutting rates. I've gone massively in depth on that in the weekly newsletter, which is out tomorrow. Please go and check that out. It's completely free to read. There's a link in the description here, or it's called The Weekly Insight and Substack. Let's have a look. The Weekly Insight.substack.com. Tomorrow's episode is focused on what I think is happening in the short term, so what I'm talking about in this video, but then what happens after that and how excited I am about a bull market, and I give my price targets for crypto in there, and some of them are probably going to surprise you. So go and check that out, and please do subscribe if you enjoy, and share it with a friend if you do. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this. Like, I'm still in the same camp short term because of what I've just shown you, the liquidity, and also because we're basically still ranging, and until we break the range, you shouldn't really be thinking anything different, no matter what the narrative out there. If the narrative was good enough, like people think it is, we should be breaking out of this range. And if it's not, then we'll continue to trade within the range until something changes. So I was just showing you Bitcoin gold. Let me see if this is going to... No, okay, great. It's not set up. Oh, it's still there, but can you see it? Take it off, then we'll bang it in again. There we go. What I basically want to show you is, on the daily time frame, I have to adjust it a little bit so it makes it a little more clear because I had it all in the right place. Then of course, as we go to stream, what I wanted to show you is Bitcoin and gold actually often move in inverse correlation, and one of the things that I've been saying is that we want the price action from gold to rotate into Bitcoin. Gold took the lead from the bottom. Gold started moving at early November, took a bit of a lead as I said. Bitcoin then followed up with its move starting the 13th of Jan and caught up with gold by the time we got to about a year later, January 24. And then this year has taken the lead, and now we're pulling back, and gold is now taking the lead again. So how long did it take for Bitcoin to move after gold had moved? Realistically, about, sorry, let's get a look at that. Doesn't matter the percentages. About 62 days, I'd say, for after gold started to break out. That's when Bitcoin went. So if, let's say, gold started to take the lead here, we're about there, maybe at 59. Then Bitcoin started its move in the next couple of days. So it's just something I wanted you guys to consider. But as I said, like in the short term, I'm not trading anything but the range, just because if you're a trader and you trade, you should always trade the range. If you're in a range, if you're in momentum one way or another, like if you're momentum long, you should take long positions. If you're momentum short, you should take short positions. And if you're in a range, you trade the range until you get confirmation of something different. So they're my main thoughts on Bitcoin and gold. And then one other thing I want to show you that kind of confirms like what I'm saying in terms of a range is the DXY. The DXY is right at the bottom of its range, still sitting on its support, but we are yet to break down or have a significant bounce here. We're just in like no man's land still for the DXY. Even with everything that's going on in the US and around the world, the DXY is still sitting where it is. I've been saying that I do think obviously there's a short-term pullback, but after that is when I think things get absolutely mental. However, on the opposite side of that, you're seeing like different tokens now start to break their recent swing highs, although they are coming up into significant areas of previous support and now resistance, like Sushi Swap, for example. This is a token that I actually do have some Sushi Swap because of the DeFi system, DeFi ecosystem. I did want to expose some tokens. This is one of the ones I picked. some things are ripping. Shiba yesterday was ripping. I don't know where that finished yet. Smashed up some big green candles. Pepe and other meme coins are ripping at the minute. We're waiting for that rotation into XRP, but as I said yesterday, I don't think that's going to happen until maybe we front run this, but the 7th of October when we get the last day for the SEC to potentially appeal against Ripple, or Ripple to appeal against the SEC. That could always happen too. And then it's followed by Swell the week after that. There is a chance that if we do have this pullback in Bitcoin, we could come down here to take some liquidity. However, when we start to see patterns like this, I do think these often lead to breakouts to the upside. It's like you bang your head on resistance, you come down, you grab liquidity, you bang your head on resistance, you come down, you set a higher low and then bang your head on resistance again, although this high is lower high. We're just looking for this breakout, and until then we can't really say too much for XRP. Remember guys, we've nearly got the weekly and monthly time frame closed as well. Bitcoin's weekly is looking cool, but as I said, we're going into the weekend with all these, like, in my opinion, overcooked indicators. I could take you to Velo to have a look at that as well, but again, I cover that in the newsletter that's out tomorrow in depth, so go and check that out. Also, the monthly is very close to finishing here too. And look, it looks like a lovely monthly candle there for Bitcoin if we do manage to get this close. It is indicating to me that we're very close to moving out of this range. I do think we come back down and sweep the lows first, but that's just my opinion. We're range trading, as I've said. So just don't get too ahead of yourself until things are like confirmed. However, that being said, I've been saying to DCA for weeks, I said that these prices were good. At some point we're going to go up. And at some point we will break out of the range to the upside, in my opinion. Timing that is very difficult, and while you're in it, you should always trade it. So, like, if you've not been DCAing, like, where have you been? Because I've been screaming that at you guys for literally months, and then just like in this last few weeks, I just think we're gonna have a short-term pullback. How deep that comes, again, I don't know. But just to finish this video, I noticed something on Flare, and I might actually post this over there on X as well. But if we look at Flare on the weekly time frame, we're about to get that weekly bullish cross, potentially, if we can stay bullish for the next few days. It's the first time we've had a weekly bullish cross in the non-overbought section of the RSI, or like since we've been bullish since basically the bottom, which is the 16th of October. From that bottom, we actually rallied from the bottom to the top around 887%. That was potentially a wave 1. If this is going to be the wave 3, it should be about 1.66 times that length, but let's just see. 887% would take us to 13 cent, and then let's just do some quick maths and say we go to about 1.3, 1.4 1,000% gain. That could take us up to about 22 cent there for Flare. So if we get something like that, guys, that is incredibly bullish. I'll definitely be offloading some bags in this first take profit level here, between about 15 cent and 19 cent myself. So keep that in mind. Like, I think we're that close to an explosion in altcoins. Genuinely think we are on the verge of it. If we look at total 3, it is starting to break out of like a bit of a descending channel here. Like, if we just show you this, bang. We're basically on the weekly time frame. The first time we've poked our head above that descending channel and crossed bullish on the weekly. But again, we're waiting for this confirmation. We're waiting for the finish of the week before we can get too excited. I do think that total 3 could have a really good run this cycle, all the way up to about 6 trillion, 6 to 7 trillion. That would be amazing. Imagine. I think the whole market cap can go anywhere between 8 and 12 trillion this cycle. So I've also written about that in the newsletter. So go and check that out, guys. That's out tomorrow, completely free. It's got my in-depth thoughts there about what comes next after we break this range. I'm personally thinking we have a pullback before we break the range. Anything could happen because governments are starting to get involved in markets now because of economic reasons. So hold on to your seats. Don't sell your bags. Be DCAing if we get drops, and just enjoy the ride. Like, hopefully we're about to head into that parabolic phase of the market. In my opinion, the toughest phase of the market in general. It's harder than buying and holding, selling, because you always think it can go higher. I'll be on here when I think it's time to sell some alts, or like giving you guys my thoughts on how to sell and what to think when we get to that time. But one thing I will say is, it doesn't matter what size your bag is, have a strict take profit plan, because anything can change along the way, and taking some profit, even if it's not like exactly what you want, is better than riding the bag all the way up and all the way down. I can tell you that for free. I did that in the 2017 cycle. rode my bag all the way up and all the way down because I was like, oh, it's not going to make much difference to my life. However, even a few extra $1,000, if you take it specific take profits, then if we get to that take profit and then we pull back, it means you've got extra to add again if that is what you wanted to do, rather than riding it all the way up anyway. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. That's an important message for you guys. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please do like and subscribe. And if you want more of that sort of content, I can make a video about that as well. Please leave a comment if you've got any questions for me, and share it with a friend if you enjoyed. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.